Hello and welcome to another wonderful edition of Iron Port, the program that has been dedicated to bring Ghana's port and maritime industry closer to you. The program is sponsored by the Ghana Revenue Authority, Goyle Company Limited, Serene Insurance, Ghana Link, and the Meridian Port Services Limited. It is powered by the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. Our media partner is the Business and Financial Times. Viewers, this week we are privileged to have a conversation with Honorable Caitlin Ayensu-Korte. She is a member of the AU Commission on International Law, as well as a special rapporteur for maritime security and piracy. She gave us an overview of the African agenda for a sustainable blue economy, highlighting fisheries and aquaculture, as well as maritime security. Let us take a look and listen attentively to this particular conversation.
The blue economy is a vast one, it's a big one, worth trillions of dollars and all that, and we're also trying to get our stake from it. I just want to find out from you some of the policies, and legal frameworks that guide the blue economy on our continent.
So let's explain for the benefit of those who might not know that the blue economy is everything that is sort of water-based, right? So we have the sea, you have the rivers, you have the lakes, and you must manage all these things. You have transportation, intermodal transportation, and so on. Everything that goes into building what I'd say a vibrant and healthy, sustainable economy. Yes, in the maritime and in the aquatic sector. That would be the blue economy. And to that end, there are other African Union instruments in place. We have the African Charter on Maritime Transport of 2010 has been revised. What would be the aim of that? I told you that about 90% of Africa's imports and exports go by sea, maritime means. Now, you are better equipped than I am to know that most of this trade is in the hands of, not in the hands of African companies or entities, shall we say. So you have already shown advertisements to do with certain container shipping companies, and they are the dominant players. Okay. Now, interesting, if you go back to the history of, or the antecedents of the African Union, I'm sure you know that we owe the people of the Caribbean and the diaspora much in terms of the creation and the inspiration for the African Union. So as soon as I mention the names, you will know. Marcus Garvey.
Yes, absolutely.
Du Bois.
He owned a lot of vessels, I understand.
Padbo.
Yes.
Now, Marcus Garvey was originally from Jamaica, moved to the city of New York. Way back, I think, in the 1918, certainly by 1920, he was in the New York City area. And we already know the history of the Caribbean and black people going across to Southern America and the Caribbean and eventually to North America. So Marcus Garvey proposed that, or decided that, look, there's so much trade, never mind the human trade, there's so much commodity trade between Africa and the New World, for instance, then of course Europe, that wouldn't it be a good idea if Africans owned the vessels? We produce the goods, so we might as well own the vessels that transport these goods. And it is in that vein that he attempted his Black Star shipping line. However short-lived, it was inspirational, because that is where Ghana, when we got independence, drew our inspiration and named our shipping line the Black Star line. So this is, I think, the African Union Charter on Maritime Transport seeks a return to the economic benefits, so that some of the economic benefits stay within the African continent and the African hands. Well, shipping is a lot of money, as you know. We may have done, I think Nigeria, A number of countries, certainly in North Africa.
Yeah.
They've owned their own shipping lines, I'm sure now in South Africa as well. But there's a whole range to shipping vessels anyway.
Yeah.
Fishing vessels, container vessels, tanker vessels, and other kinds of things. So there's a whole range that the African hasn't broken into yet.
Right.
And this is the aspiration. Needless to say, that is the slowest of the charters to get going.
Right.
Because of the logistics and the investment involved in that.
Right.
Having said that, it's not impossible. Nigerians own quite a few ships, and we are not yet, as far as I know, into big-time cruise industries, but Egypt is into cruise down the Nile.
Okay.
So, and of course, then the military apparatus is an entirely separate subject.
Right.
Okay, because you must have the military backing, or the security backing to monitor a lot of the activities that are going on at sea.
Right.
Then, in 2016, the African Union came out with what they call the Lome Charter.
Right.
The Lome Charter on Maritime Security. Must get the full title and give it to you correctly. The Lome Charter on Maritime Security and Safety and Development in Africa. Okay. So it's like a comprehensive document. It was signed in Lome in 2016. About 32 or 35 member states signed up right away, which indicates some kind of broad agreement. But only 2 have ratified. And now, of course, Togo and Benin, because there are annexes that also need to be put in place, and member states, like anywhere, are reluctant to commit fully if you are not able to discharge your obligations entirely. But it doesn't mean you don't support things in principle. So if I were to look for a comprehensive roadmap in terms of the maritime sector, I'd go to the Lome Charter as a guiding document at this point in time, and as a document that is being worked on, including the annexes, to get things off the ground. Now, in 2018, you realize there may be things that are not part of the maritime security area or the Lome Charter, but form part of the blue economy. And those may be going to trade and so on. So in terms of the blue economy, there was a big conference held in Kenya in 2018 to do with the African blue economy, and I think a document emerged in 2019. And the date to kickstart all this was supposed to have been 2020, but then the pandemic came and took its toll on everything else. So if we are in 2022, I'd still say we're about on course. There's been a reawakening in the African Union on the blue economy. They're looking for, I think, a consultant seeking to kickstart the blue economy program. So it's very much on the agenda. One of the setbacks, I think, the African Union itself has, like, I think, 5 or 6 dedicated commissioners, sector-based. Now, the commissioner for the blue economy is Her Excellency Joseph Asako, an agronomist from Angola. Agronomy means soil and agriculture. But the African Union portfolio is such that it is agriculture, rural development, the blue economy, and sustainable development. That is a lot to lump together. So one hopes the blue economy will not get minimized or sidelined, even though there's talk that there's emphasis on that. Possibly that won't happen because the United Nations, under its Sustainable Development Goals, especially number 14, deals with life below water or life in the water. So as long as the Sustainable Development Goals are afoot, then there's a good chance that these things will also be sustained. But I think a lot of attention has been given to the blue economy on the African continent. We've mentioned the United Nations. We've mentioned food security in Africa. The FAO is the executing agency for the United Nations program, and the acronym IAFA.
Food and Agriculture Organization.
That's right. So they are the implementing agency for the Fisheries and Aquaculture segment.
Right. All right. So you just mentioned the SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals, and I just want to find out from you in Africa how we can achieve some element of sustainability as far as the fisheries and agriculture sectors are concerned.
Well, how will be for the technocrats. I, being a lawyer, will do a lot of talking.
Right.
We'll do the documents, but the how and the getting it off the ground must be from our leadership and the sufficient technocrats that there are in Africa. But we know as Ghanaians that aquaculture has grown exponentially, even here in Ghana. It mostly started roughly around 2008, and since 2008, here we are in 2022. Tilapia is as common as a fish that is just everywhere now through aquaculture. I would say that our seas, can I blame the sea or should I blame us as people, the African people? We have let the ocean down. So the ocean is not producing as much as it used to be in terms of food, in terms of fish. And that's something we need to work on. We need to ask ourselves why over and over again. And we need to see what we can do so that the oceans are restored both to safety and to health. We need healthy oceans. Without the oceans, the planet cannot survive. So it's at the very essence of our survival. And it is a food source, and some countries like Ghana have the option. You have the marine resources, and you have your inland resources as well.
Right.
So the agencies that are concerned, we have a dedicated ministry for fisheries and aquaculture. So that means there's a focus on that sector. And that always makes a difference, of course. In some places, it's still aligned with the ministries of agriculture.
All right. Okay, that's awesome. Let's take a look at the Gulf of Guinea and efforts, over the years to nip this canker in the bud. I'm talking about piracy. From your assessment, are you satisfied with efforts so far and where we've reached at the moment? Because understanding is that the tide has been stemmed a bit, but do we still need to do more, or you think that we are okay?
Oh, no. We're never okay with criminals. You're never okay anywhere with criminals.
Right.
They never stop. So we have to do more. What it has demonstrated is a collective response from the Gulf of Guinea states, stemming from Senegal to Angola. Incidentally, that's the same slave coast.
Absolutely.
Slave trade coast. Stemming from Angola to Senegal, and we have had a concerted effort to tackle this piracy problem. Of course, Nigeria and Angola are big oil producers, but then you have also Equatorial Guinea, you have Gabon, you have Ghana, so you have Cote d'Ivoire. So piracy is a serious thing, and I think the most lucrative commodity is oil. Yes, things got out of hand. I would say 3 years ago, 2 years ago, the figures were just frightening. It was as if everything had moved from the Horn of Africa, Eastern Africa, the Red Sea corridor, and just landed in the West African waters. Now, that may be because the pirates were now having a very hard time in the Gulf, the Eastern corridor, the passage, the Red Sea area, and the Gulf of Aden, and Djibouti and Somalia. Why? Because international pressure and international intervention zoomed in on them. Djibouti has more military bases than I think any other country in Africa. I believe so. Everybody is there protecting their shipping interests. West Africa may have spiraled out of control for various reasons. But I think much has been done to quell we are never there yet. Yeah. And then some of our development partners came in to assist. I'd say the United States, some of the European countries. One European state sent a frigate with much fanfare. Yeah. And then
the Italian frigate and the Netherlands
yes, and then that country abruptly withdrew its frigate in response to the Ukraine war. Now, if every time there's a problem in Europe, you're coming to take your frigate home, and so on, where it doesn't make for much dependence. But most of the African countries in the Gulf have beefed up their resources. So in 2020, this January, the Ghana Navy has received 4 brand new patrol offshore vessels to in a very interesting business arrangement with the oil company. I believe it was Tullow, and then of course the nation's premier commercial bank, Ghana Commercial Bank. So that has proved to be a very positive development and a great boost for the business here. You won't say you're protecting only the oil rigs. If you see IUU fishing or piracy going on somewhere, obviously the same vessels will respond. Nigeria has also done a lot and much more to improve its naval capabilities in terms of patrol and so on. Equatorial Guinea has done much. I think Angola has done a lot as well. So we have all enhanced our capabilities. And I think that has played down considerably on to keep the piracy issue. I think they've moved to around the Straits of Malacca. Singapore area now is the new hotbed, if I'm not mistaken.
All right, now that we have heard from her, let us also hear from you on your comments and questions on the subject that has just been discussed.
Pascal from Nungwa says, thank you for the educative program Iron Port, which I intend to use for my academic purposes. Kindly ask your guest that, as a lawyer, what are some of the maritime cases that come to the African Union? Well, Pascal, according to Honorable Ayensu, the African Union is not an adjudicating body of maritime cases. All maritime disputes, she says, go to the International Tribunal of the Law of the Sea or the International Court of Justice. This one says, good evening, Iron Port. My name is Bridget and I am a student of the Regional Maritime University. I must say, I admire Honorable Ayensu and her submissions so much.
That's all today on this particular subject. We commend the AU and its relevant collaborators as they strive to achieve the set objectives for our ocean and blue economy. Iron Port returns shortly.
Every now and again, KORLE makes good things happen. This time, KORLE has introduced Super XP Ron 95, a higher grade fuel loaded with additives and yet sold at the same price as normal fuel. KORLE Super XP Ron 95 enhances engine performance like never before. It maintains the engine by keeping it clean from carbon deposits. KORLE Super XP Ron 95 is designed to burn slowly and thus improves fuel economy, making you save money after several kilometers. KORLE Super XP Ron 95 gives you a smooth driving experience, that is, less vibrations. Fill up with KORLE Super XP Ron 95. Now there's no need to pay more for any higher grade fuel. KORLE has that sorted. KORLE, good energy.
Electricity, then pay your taxes. Our taxes, our future.
Because you see, without our taxes, we wouldn't have good roads, good schools, better hospitals, street lights, and other very important social amenities. When we pay our taxes, we give our children free and quality education. Talga, my money too small. Why should I pay my tax? Look, small. Salifo, it doesn't matter how small or big your business or income is. You still have to pay your taxes. The little taxes from each and every one of us, when put together, could give your community clean water or that deprived school with tables and chairs. Please pay your taxes. It is your responsibility. It is your civic duty. It is the law.
Impressive factory. If only I had listened to you, I wouldn't have been in this mess. That devastating fire virtually wiped out the whole factory and my warehouse.
Remember my misfortunes last year? Serene Insurance Asset All Risk Fire policy that I took were there to pay for my damaged stocks in the warehouse, and my machines that were affected by the floods have been replaced. My accident vehicle is back on the road thanks to Serene Insurance Motor Policy. Currently, my goods are on the high seas, covered with their marine cargo insurance policy. I was just telling Ajima about Serene Insurance.
Oh, Ajima,
tell him more.
As a road contractor, I make sure I do my contractors all risk insurance for the projects and then workers' compensation for all the workers on site. With Serene Insurance, they will make sure they will cover your unknown tomorrow today.
Serene Insurance, a new face of insurance. Call us now.
MPS Terminal 3 is Africa's new state-of-the-art container terminal at Tema Port. For manufacturers, agro-processors and traders, the new port means business can be done faster. This infrastructure boost will improve Ghana's port handling capacity, connect more trading routes, and oil the engine of growth for the economy, creating greater opportunities across all sectors as Africa's markets merge and become the largest trading bloc globally. MPS, we connect, you thrive.
Welcome back from the break. Now let us pick a few local port and maritime related stories. The Center for International Maritime Affairs, Ghana, has called for the promulgation of an integrated oceans governance policy for Ghana to serve as a tool for sustainability. Speaking on the sidelines of Ghana's celebration of the Day of the Seafarer, Executive Director of CIMAG, Albert Derek Fiatui, asserted that political will is of utmost significance to achieve this objective.
The way forward is for us to all agree, especially backed by the political will, to put together the various stakeholders to agree for an integration so that we can come up with that ocean governance policy. I'm aware that the Sustainable Development Unit of the Presidency, Dr. Eugene Owusu and his team are doing a lot of work. They have formed a committee and we are only hopeful that that committee will begin work in earnest, and once that is done, we hope that we are able to get all that there is to begin from the oceans.
He said Ghana's ocean governance lacks effectiveness due to the disjointed approach to its management.
Because of the amorphous nature of the agencies we have now, as we keep saying, the Ghana Maritime Authority is the landlord of the oceans. We have the Fisheries Commission, which are also backed by law, and they have some level of interest in protecting the sea. We have the National Petroleum Authority, we have the Ghana National Petroleum Corporation, and we also have the National Communications Authority. You know, they have also laid some fiber optic cables underground within the sea. And all these agencies have some roles to play. And because there is no proper coordination, we are not able to push through a lot of the things that we are supposed to do to be able to enjoy the sea that we have been gifted by God.
According to the civil society organization, marine pollution is Ghana's biggest contribution to climate change and should be tackled head-on as a matter of urgency.
As you are aware, the sea absorbs a lot of heat from the sun, and that helps in combating climate change. And so, because of the issue of pollution, that capacity or capability of the sea is dwindling. And so that is what we mean that is posing a threat when it comes to climate change mitigation. So when you go to Nungua, connecting to the sea through Regional Maritime University, you see lorry ties, you see plastics, you see fridges, nose marks, and all kinds of things. And it's not good for us if we really want to gain enough from the sea.
Albert Fiatui reiterated that the oceans remain a significant source of livelihood for many and a major economic and security tool for the nation and should be treated as such. In addition to providing world-class logistics services to customers for over a decade, Meridian Port Services prides itself in giving back to the community it operates in. As part of its corporate social responsibility, MPS has donated 4 patient monitoring devices to the orthopedic department of the KORLE-BU Teaching Hospital, which is Ghana's ultimate referral hospital. According to the CEO of MPS, Mohammed Samara, the equipment is intended to augment the facilities at the hospital for the management of orthopedic trauma. Officials at the KORLE-BU Orthopedic Center expressed gratitude for the kind gesture the private company has done them, intimating that it will be life-saving. Let's take our lenses to the global scene and pick a few international shipping and maritime industry news. Seabourn Cruise Line, a subsidiary of Carnival Corporation, has taken delivery of its first expedition cruise ship, Seabourn Venture, during an official handover ceremony at the Tema shipyard in Genoa, Italy. Seabourn Venture is the first of the line's 2 purpose-built ultra-luxury expedition ships and is the first dedicated expedition ship in the Carnival Corporation fleet. The world's largest cruise company, Carnival, looks to expand into the rapidly growing expedition segment, with ships focusing on cruises in the polar regions. The 23,000 gross ton cruise ship and a sister ship still under construction in Italy were designed and built to PC6 Polar class standards with the ability to operate in diverse environments. A toxic cloud of chlorine gas was released in a loading accident in the Jordanian port of Aqaba on the Red Sea on Monday, June 27. State media is reporting that 13 people died and at least 260 others were injured when the gas cylinder ruptured, releasing the toxic chemical onto the ship and surrounding dock area. As shown, vessel was alongside loading about 20 tanks of liquefied chlorine gas, which is used as a disinfectant and water purification agent. The canisters were being exported to Djibouti. Investigations are still ongoing to ascertain further details of the accident. It's time for the schedule of vessels that have berthed in the ports of Tema and Takoradi, those at anchorages of those ports, and those expected in the coming weeks, plus the Bank of Ghana exchange rates, which you may need to know to clear your cargo with. This is where we end today's edition of Iron Port. Remember, you can watch all Iron Port content on our YouTube channel, Iron Port. Remember to subscribe, like, and give us feedback. Thank you for watching.